Ouch. How is that for a headline? Ouch indeed. Well then, Kit Harington says Game of Thrones critics can go F themselves. Jon Snow, you know nothing, Jon Snow. The fallout from the Game of Thrones Season 8 finale continues in the glorious fashion that we expected. So here we go. Naturally, the Game of Thrones finale was met with a mixed response from critics and viewers, all of whom would be wise to keep their thoughts to themselves, because Kit Harington doesn't give an F about what y'all think. Speaking to Esquire, the in real life Jon Snow, I think that's what they're saying, rinsed the critics' show, insisting that the Thrones fam put a shit ton of work into producing the final season. How I feel about the show right now is quite defiant. I think no matter what anyone thinks about this season, and I don't mean to sound mean about critics here, but whatever critic spends half an hour writing about this season and makes their negative judgment on it, in my head they can go F themselves, because I know how much work was put into this, the actor said in an interview. Before the final episode, over 1 million fans signed a petition to have the final season rewritten and remade as they voiced their upset with how things were wrapping up. I think you need to rewrite that one. Anyway, I know how much people cared about this, Harrington adds. I know how much pressure people put on themselves, and I know how many sleepless nights working or otherwise people had on this show. The London native said, because they cared about it so much, because they cared about the characters, because they cared about the story, because they cared about not letting people down. He continued, now if people feel let down about it, I don't give an F, because everyone tried their hardest. That's how I feel. In the end, no one's bigger fans of the show than we are, and we're kind of doing it for ourselves. That's all we could do, really, and I was just happy we got it to the end. Look, we're all entitled to our opinions, especially when it comes to TV, but maybe keep your negative thoughts away from old Kit for now. Yeah, man, that's not a good way to respond, man. That's not a good way to respond, Jon Snow. I appreciate his honesty. I definitely do. But dude, you said in an interview that fans were going to be disappointed. Like, you said that when you were asked. So you clearly share some of the anger that's going on. Secondly, I think that, again, speaking for myself and for a lot of the people that have criticized this ending, I would have to say that I feel that the majority of the anger towards the finale and the final season is about respecting the hard work and the characters that have went into it, because we all feel like you have done a great job as Jon Snow, and Emilia Clarke's done a great job as Daenerys, and on down the line of all of the characters and the actors that have portrayed these characters, and we feel like that suddenly all of that's been abandoned. All of that great development and hard work has been abandoned for what looks to be lazy writing to get a quick end to this series so that Dan and Dave can just move on and go to Star Wars. So I feel like the anger doesn't come from a place of saying you didn't work hard. I don't think anybody in that petition, or generally speaking people that are upset about this, I don't think anybody is taking shots at the actors or the production or any of that. It's really directed at Benioff and Weiss about the writing and the lack of the attention to detail that has gone into these characters that have been so well developed over the last 7 years. That's where I feel like it's coming from. So while I appreciate where Kit Harington's coming from, I feel like he's coming from this from a completely wrong perspective in terms of like where he thinks the fan anger is directed. The fan anger is not directed at the hard work. I think everybody appreciates it. I even said, like, even though I hated episode 6, the cinematography was beautiful in my opinion. Beautifully shot. I loved the visual of that entire episode. I thought that was stunning, but everything else was awful. And that comes down to the writing and the dialogue and the direction, not the characters, not the hard work that went into it necessarily. Nobody is questioning that, generally speaking. So I think this is misplaced anger for Jon Snow. Kit Harington, I appreciate that he is standing up for the actors as a whole, because I guess he feels like that's where the anger is directed. But if he does a little bit of research about this, I think he's going to understand that the majority of the anger is not directed at that aspect. It's directed towards the lazy writing. Not a good look for Jon Snow. Not a good look for Kit Harington. I think this is the beginning of a huge, massive fallout for Game of Thrones Season 8. I think we are in the beginning of it. I said we're in the end game in terms of like we got to the series finale, but now we're just in the beginning. I think the fallout is going to be massive. So many people are going to be talking about this. There's going to be so many stories. So many actors are going to be making comments. And again, Benioff and Weiss are moving right into Star Wars. Right into Star Wars, bro. Like, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy that they're moving right into Star Wars. Coming off of this colossal failure of a season. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. You guys check out geeksandgamers.com. Check out our store, geeksandgamers/store. And check out our merch. See if you like what we have over there. And you have a great day. Thank you for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.